Jasmine Mitchell never anticipated that a seemingly ordinary day serving champagne at a high society gala would turn her world upside down. As she navigated through the opulent ballroom of the Blackwell mansion, her eyes caught sight of something that made her heart skip a beat, a framed childhood photograph hanging in a private hallway. The image captured her at just 4 years old, with the same shy smile and wild curls that she recognized as her own. But how could her picture, a piece of a past she had long been denied, be part of the decor in the home of one of Chicago's wealthiest men, Richard Blackwell? Raised in the foster care system, Jasmine had always felt the weight of her unknown history pressing on her chest. Social workers had spoken in hushed tones about her past, mentioning unfortunate circumstances and lost documents, but never had she imagined that the man who so casually brushed past her earlier that evening would be the key to her missing memories. "Hey, you! What are you doing here?" The brusque voice of a security guard snapped her back to reality. Fumbling with the crystal tray, Jasmine managed a nervous smile. "Sorry, I got lost looking for the bathroom." She walked away, her mind racing. That photo lingered in her thoughts like a haunting melody, each note reminding her of the pieces of her life that were stolen. Finding Richard among the guests felt like searching for a needle in a haystack. He was charming and charismatic, effortlessly winning the applause of the elite crowd as he spoke passionately about his charitable foundation for underprivileged children. The irony was not lost on Jasmine. The very man who spoke of helping abandoned kids had discarded his own daughter like a forgotten toy. As she observed Richard, a chill ran down her spine. There was a flicker of guilt in his eyes, a hint of something deeper when he spoke about loss and second chances. "Life sometimes forces us to make impossible decisions," he said, his voice laden with feigned sorrow. But Jasmine knew better. She had not died, she had been cast aside. After the gala, Jasmine's obsession with the photograph grew. The image became an anchor, pulling her toward the truth of her past. She sought out Marcus, a bartender who had witnessed the underbelly of Chicago's elite for years. Hearing Richard's name made Marcus visibly uneasy. "Girl, you don't want to mess with that man. He has connections everywhere." Jasmine pressed on, her determination unwavering. Marcus recounted rumors of Richard's daughter who had vanished around the same time as his wife's tragic accident, a story that sent shivers down her spine. 4 years old. The same age as the girl in the photo. The pieces began to fall into place, leading Jasmine down a dark path of family secrets, deceit, and betrayal. With every step, she uncovered layers of Richard's facade. He had married multiple times, each union ending in a swift divorce, each wife younger than the last. Articles from the past revealed her mother, Helena Blackwell, as a fierce advocate for children's rights, who had been investigating adoption fraud just weeks before her untimely death. Jasmine's heart sank as she pieced together the troubling timeline. Helena had uncovered something dangerous, and mere days later, she was gone. In her quest for answers, Jasmine turned to Margaret Santos, a retired private investigator who frequented the cafe where Jasmine worked. Over coffee, Jasmine laid out her story, her desperation palpable. Margaret's eyes narrowed with interest. "This is more than just a family reunion, sweetheart," she said, understanding the gravity of the situation. "You're hunting a predator." Days turned into weeks as Margaret dug deeper into the shadows of Richard's life. The revelations were shocking. Richard had forged documents declaring Jasmine dead, collecting insurance money for both her and her mother. Jasmine felt sickened. He had profited from her absence, transforming their tragedy into a lucrative narrative of loss and philanthropy. The final blow came when Margaret revealed that Helena had survived the accident, only to pass away hours later, whispering a warning to a nurse about protecting her daughter from the monster. Rage and sorrow intertwined within Jasmine. She was not just seeking revenge, she was reclaiming her life. With determination burning in her chest, Jasmine devised a plan to confront Richard at his next charity gala. As he basked in the applause of the elite, she would unveil the truth that he had kept buried for far too long. On the night of the gala, Jasmine donned the guise of a waitress, her heart pounding with anticipation. As Richard spoke about the importance of giving back to the community, she seized the moment, stepping onto the stage and taking control of the microphone. "Excuse me, Mr. Blackwell. Can I ask you a question?" The room fell silent, and all eyes turned to her. Richard's irritation was palpable as he looked at her, but Jasmine pressed on. "You mentioned losing a daughter. Can you tell us more about that?" Richard's composure wavered. "It's a personal tragedy I'd rather not discuss," he stammered. Jasmine smiled, her resolve unwavering. That's a shame, because I have some interesting details about your so-called lost daughter. With every word, she unraveled his carefully constructed lies. The audience gasped as she revealed her identity, pulling out documents that exposed Richard's treachery. The room erupted into chaos as Jasmine laid bare the truth: the fake death certificates, the life insurance payouts, the dark secrets of a man who had built his empire on the backs of the innocent. As Richard stood frozen, the weight of his crimes crashing down on him, Jasmine felt a sense of liberation wash over her. She had taken back her narrative. Months later, the dust settled, and Jasmine found herself at the helm of the Helena Blackwell Foundation, dedicated to the very cause her mother had fought for. The FBI had dismantled the illegal adoption rings that had plagued the system, and Jasmine was determined to honor her mother's legacy. As she signed checks to fund new orphanages and scholarships, she reflected on her journey from a hidden past to a bright future. She had transformed her pain into purpose, using the very resources Richard had stolen to uplift others. The media hailed her as a hero, a voice for the voiceless, and a beacon of hope for countless children. Richard, on the other hand, languished in prison, his empire dismantled, his reputation in ruins. The man who had tried to erase her from history had underestimated her strength. In her quiet moments, Jasmine visited her mother's grave, leaving flowers and speaking to her as if she were right there beside her. "We did it, Mom," she whispered, knowing that their story had come full circle. The foundation of lies Richard had built crumbled, replaced by a legacy of truth, compassion, and justice. As Jasmine looked out over the city, she felt a sense of peace knowing that she had rewritten her narrative, not just for herself, but for all the children who had been abandoned and forgotten. In the end, she realized that true victory wasn't merely about revenge. It was about transforming her pain into something beautiful, ensuring that no child would ever feel the weight of abandonment again. "How was your day, dear?" her Aunt Sarah asked one evening over the phone. "Transformative," Jasmine replied, her heart full. She had become the very change she wished to see in the world, and that was a victory unmatched by any revenge. The journey was far from over, but she was ready to face whatever came next, armed with the truth, the love of her newfound family, and the unwavering spirit of her mother guiding her every step.